interesting story about Scott was I took up tennis about the time, maybe a year or two before he did. So he was 11. It took about 3 years for him to beat me, but the thing was, he was a hot shot. He was like the best there was, state-wise. And it was like I started all over again with him. Like, tennis was that important. The kid could go out to tournaments. When he was 15, he would hitch rides and play tournaments all over the state. We let him go by himself, you know. The older kids took care of him and, you know, watched out for him, and he got all his state rankings that way. But I think it was pretty gutsy for Beverly to end myself, to let him go by himself at that age.
He kept a chart of everything he spent. 10 cents for this, 25 cents for that. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
He kept a log of every penny he spent while he was away in a tournament.
But we did play one tournament together, and the only tournament we ever played, and I'll tell you the reason. That's what I remember the most about his tennis career. We played in a state tournament in Bitsy Grant, father and son tournament. There was no ages involved. I must have been 48 or so, and he was whatever. He was probably 12, 13. We won the first round. We beat the number 1 seed. It was unbelievable. We beat the number 1 seed. He was good. I wasn't that smart about tennis then, but he was good, and then I had good speed. We won it. We got into the next match, which we should have won easily, and all of a sudden he started giving me instructions and yelling at me and pushing me around. So I said, that's it, Scott, we're never going to find out. We lost that, and we never played again. Doubles partners for 30 years. Right. 30 years ago, you and I, in the first round, played the number 1 seed. We didn't have a chance, and we beat him.
Because I do remember, and I remember it was on that very court over there, court 11, it's because you carried me.
I didn't carry you. You were there 2 or 3 in the city. You were incredible.
And I know how you were able to do it now. I didn't learn until many years later, but you had beer in your cooler. That wasn't unfair.
Well, that's legal, you know, as long as it wasn't main line or anything like that, that's okay, you know.
Yeah, that was a great memory.
We played another round 2 rounds later, and somehow or other you got mad at me.
Yes.
And we both said, well, I'm never playing with you
again.
But here we are playing again 30 years later.
Because I blew it, I lost my temper, and it was my fault. It definitely was. All these years later, I can tell you we only lost because of me. It wasn't your fault.
No,
so I was wrong and you were right.
I guarantee it was at least 51% my problem.
That's great. All right, there we go.
All right, a little hug.